Has there been any information you've been seeing shared in the space that has been wrong? Yeah, I mean, almost everything, almost everything in the space shared by like Michael Saylor is wrong. I think the truth is so unpopular that it's even hard for me to say. The strategic reserve idea is based on a fallacy. I thought it would have been evident since we have history of what happened with a gold, quote unquote, world reserve currency, right? Once the government issues paper against a money, you have no protection over inflation. You don't know how many paper receipts there are relative to the backed gold. So once you back a money, you technically unback it. The only way to protect people from inflation is if they're actually using the money and not using the government's paper that's supposedly supposed to be backed by the money. So that's a huge fallacy, and given how much governments they're spending and how much they have to print, it's just, even if they were on a try to convince people to go on a Bitcoin standard, it wouldn't change what they would do. I think that's a huge idea that's constantly promoted that's just wrong. I think the idea that Bitcoin's going to have a value prop in the regulated market is wrong too. It's not. I think the idea that banks are going to hold Bitcoin and they're going to let people use it. They've even a lot of these bank executives have said they would only do it if regulators allowed. And I'm saying if the economic conditions are such that they're printing a lot of money and people start just using Bitcoin and avoiding the tax, that won't last very long. And then people will be forced to not in the regulated market. The idea that censorship resistance and protection from inflation come from the protocol itself is wrong. It doesn't. You have to actually run an economic node on the network, meaning accepting coin and validating that transaction yourself to actually get the value prop from it. And that means resisting whatever rules might be put in place to stop you from doing that. And then the censorship resistance aspect, the only way Bitcoin can achieve that is through decentralized mining, because the government can blacklist whatever transactions they don't want you to send, or probably the same KYC stuff, enforce compliance on the mining side, and any unapproved transaction would just get not confirmed. So you have to have people mining willing to do that, and the only way they're going to be able to do that is if they are able to hide and do it in secret. So like this whole casino market that we exist in right now, I think gets erased. I know we have popular influencers like Brian Armstrong of Coinbase and all these exchanges that their whole business model is reliant on making it like approved by government. So they're super biased, but they're the ones like dictating the narrative. I don't know. There's so many problems within this whole space that it's just like literally almost everything that's said that's popular has some giant gaping logical fallacy in it. The government will likely print money. I mean, Trump is like a populist. He's not a hardcore libertarian like guy that's wanting to do what's unpopular. Everything he's done so far, even though I like the Ross pardon, it was extremely popular and was only possible because Bitcoin and this giant speculative market has grown so much that it's had influence on the election, mainly because people want price to go up, and that's allowed a lot of the Bitcoin people who were in early to get enough influence with their wealth to then get this pardon through, which I'm happy about, but it's just because it was popular. If Bitcoin wasn't popular, wasn't at the prices of that, there's no way that guy would have been pardoned. People think he's going to keep up with his other promises of like having a great economy and restoring prosperity. The way you do that is super unpopular. It's not, I'd say the odds of it are like 0%. So what's popular is to print money, like we see being pushed for the Bitcoin Reserve, print money to enrich Bitcoin holders, print money to give it to now the people close to Trump, right? Like look what they did with the meme coins, right? That was popular by people connected to Trump, even though it was really bad for the people he says he cares about, right? The Americans that never heard of crypto that now bought into his meme coin that are going to get wrecked. It's a zero-sum game. The money made by the insiders in Trump of Trump's people who convinced him to do that, made all the money, and they raked the Americans. That's the truth. And yeah, so if my whole contention was always that if hard money was actually popular, reducing government was actually popular, it would have happened. You could just vote for better money. It's not popular. Every time I talk about black markets, it's like people don't even listen. I think they will become really popular and there will be a huge sentiment change in that. But right now it's so like looked down upon because people associate free markets with drugs and sex and things that are quote unquote bad. But they're extremely popular in poor countries where their governments control things and people are just trying to survive. So I don't know. Yeah, market will look way different. I think this is a 13-year or whatever bull market where we built out these huge casinos. It's gonna look crazy. I mean, the meme coin stuff is gonna look absolutely like insane. It's happened, similar things have happened in the past where there's a ton of money to be made in certain markets for a short amount of time. I remember in college, one of those like older students was telling me in department stores, like when they were getting big, some of their managers were making like $300,000 a month or something crazy. There's always a market that goes through crazy growth. Crypto is probably the biggest one ever because it's global. You have the internet, it's 24/7 trading, and you're in a longer term inflationary credit cycle. All right, want to see this rally here. Pokemon sports card, Beanie Babies. But I think there is underlying real value, and I think the market does somewhat sense the long-term future potential of crypto replacing a large percentage of the market for money, which is the biggest market in the world. I just think the way in which they see that is wrong. People look to history. They're just assuming what happened with gold will happen with Bitcoin. I think it will eventually grow to, like, in today's dollars, a $30 trillion, $40 trillion market, but I think it'll be dominated by proof of work coins that become monetized. And I think Bitcoin's total addressable market is a decent chunk of it, but not anywhere close to what most believe. Probably see proliferation and monetization of a bunch of different coins, privacy coins, Litecoin, Bitcoin, maybe a few others. Alright guys, we'll see what happens here. I still think we're bottoming out here. See you tomorrow when we're all rich. I mean, the next move higher should, it won't happen in one day, but I said within a few weeks, well, it can, as soon as it starts, the higher time frame breakout, it shouldn't be that long before Litecoin moves multiples. What if 15s are home? We live here, yeah. Man. Well, volatility should come in here. Pretty soon. Alright guys, but thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. And if anything happens, I'll probably go live again. But we shall see. See you guys next time.
In the ever-changing world of cryptocurrency, staying informed is your greatest asset. The Litecoin Forecast brings you daily insights, expert analysis, and cutting-edge predictions. From technical and fundamental analysis to macroeconomic trends, we've got you covered. Don't let the future of finance catch you off guard. Subscribe now and stay ahead with the Litecoin Forecast.